I'm Ms. Wren. How are you today?
I'm good.
Good. I'm very glad. How was your weekend?
It was good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I just want to thank you for coming in and for us sitting down and having this conversation. I really appreciate. I know that you are very busy and you have a very busy schedule, so thank you for meeting up with me. I think what you are doing right now is fantastic. I love your energy in the room. I love that you really care about your kids and you take the time to visit with me and other special education or paras. And I just wanted to come to you about some things that I have seen in the students' work, as well as just talking with them when we do have our intervention or I pull them out one-on-one. So some things that I have noticed, which as you can see from these examples, that some of the work that these students are doing are not complete, unfortunately. And so we were thinking other paras in your classroom at the time were observing. I came in that other time before and I had observed, you remember me being in there, right? Okay. And so what I have noticed is that you're so energetic that I love how you go from, you know, this teaching lesson to then this other one. I think that what my kids are experiencing is maybe a faster pace than what they can process. So for instance, this one individual, Sarah with Down syndrome, she really likes that routine. She likes to have everything set up in structure. So if she's unfinished with this assignment and the pace of the class that day is fast because you think that you need to move on to the next one, she will have this task uncompleted. And then the whole class will be moving on to this example. Unfortunately, Sarah is still stuck on that that worksheet that she has not completed because she's so focused on the task to get that done. So I was wondering if we could look at these examples that I have in front of us. And Sarah got halfway done, and then she didn't even complete the next sheet for the. Let's talk about some cooperative ideas. Or am I going too fast? Is this? No, do you understand everything that I am coming across? That's great. Maybe we could talk about the para helping. I know that this one worksheet that she needs to really have more time with, she could have a para at that time. I know that she is capable of doing this, but at a faster pace. I think that if we pre-taught her, pre-teaching, we could then go on to, we could then have her working with you and reading and stuff like that in the general classroom, but we could pre-teach her beforehand for this math intervention. So let's talk about some ideas that you think would, let's just collaborate some ideas that you think would be good in this classroom, in this particular situation. Do you have any inputs, or do you think, does this all make sense, or?
It does.
Okay. Do you want to collaborate some ideas that we could do?
Good.
Okay, awesome. So maybe that one is to have math intervention in the collaboration. Another one would be maybe, would you be willing to maybe have a longer transition or a period of time where the kids who, unfortunately for one of my students who is very quiet, very, very quiet, that individual won't come to you and say, hey, I'm still stuck on this other lesson and I need to be taught this lesson before I move on. Would you think that you'd be willing in that certain lesson that you would kind of slow it down, or what are you thinking?
I think I'd try to slow it down for that kid.
Okay.
but like try to keep up with the other class too.
Okay, so you want to accommodate for both our particular student,
Yeah.
the one who is more quiet, maybe not processing it all at one time, but will eventually be with the rest of the class, but you also want to accommodate for the other students in your classroom. Okay, I think that would work very much. So I also think that I think that coming to these two agreements, I think we have started something really great. Now, for my student who has more of an attention span, who isn't very focused, and so when it is at a faster pace, do you think that we could have like maybe more structure? So maybe we could give the students the activity, or maybe we could sit down and talk about the activity, and then I could pre-teach, just like we had mentioned, or we can go over the worksheets together, and then I can pre-teach with that student who kind of has, my student in particular who has ADHD. Would that sound like a great idea?
It really does sound like a good idea.
Okay. Okay.
I'm willing to do whatever it is for the kids.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Are there any questions? Are there questions particularly to the pre-teaching what that looks like in general?
What would it look like?
Okay, that's a perfect question. I think that we could talk about this is what we'll do. We will set this up, and so we talked about maybe having more time for students who are at a slower pace, but needing that structure and that routine, and then but also accommodating for the general students in general, and then I will. How about I come and observe next Tuesday at 12:30? Is that an okay time for you?
I think that would be really good.
Okay, I think that would be perfect. And then
I'll watch out for lunch.
Oh, right, I know. And then after that week, we could have another meeting on a Tuesday at 3:30, again at the same time, because I know that works best for you. And we can talk about what was good, what was bad, and then maybe talk about more structure or pre-teaching for the students who